All right, everyone, it is time that we look at the best penny stocks to buy now. I shall give you this updated list. I think you're going to love the technicals that I have for you and the reasons why I think that these stocks could either move or continue to move based on my coverage that I've been giving over the past several weeks, pretty much since the second half of May throughout the entire month of June. And now we're rocking into July. Wait until you see these companies. There are a whole ton of them on here. Beam, Lucid, NNDM, Ocugen is also on there, Recor, PacBio, Quantum SI, and then also Big Bear AI. That's right, BBAI. We will talk about each one of them and where they could potentially go from here. So stay tuned for this list. By the way, guys, you can see more technicals, my buys and sells, how I'm trading these things over at the Discord. The link is in the description. I'm just one of the panel experts over there sharing my thoughts, plays, analyses, you name it, along with the community of thousands of members that happens to be over there as well. Make sure you use code word doctor when you sign up for the earner tier, and that will give you a 50% discount off your first month sign up. We'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, let's dig into those charts for these best penny stocks to buy now. All right, so Beam is actually not the best penny stock to buy now, but it is the first on the list because it gets the honorable mention slot. I had this on here before when I said that, hey, if we can get this candle right here to follow by getting on top of this red 50 EMA that's on here, this could really show us something very interesting. Of course, that fell apart over that time and never managed to really stay. Actually, it was this candle right here. Never managed to stay on top of that 50 EMA. Got some bomb volume off of a deal with Beam with a deal with the United Arab Emirates, and then it kind of tanked from there, kind of pump and then dump. But I think that the bigger move is on its way, that people were coming in with the shorts, getting a better positioning on this, and now getting ready to move. The momentum is just above 50 on the daily chart. It is climbing on the weekly chart. It is just way too darn soon for the monthly chart for any sort of climb to show, but we also see a double bottom on here as well. So what will it take for Beam to get up onto the list for the best penny stocks to buy now? It has to get on top of that 50 EMA. I'm not settling for anything short of being on top of that 50 EMA as full support to keep it going from right now for that momentum to be sustained, because we just kept on, we held it for a couple days back here in early May, and then we failed some more. So I want to see that solid hold on top of it with some volume support to go along with it. By the way, this volume candle here wipes out a lot of the other volumes. These are actually elevated volumes that followed, but this was so massive. This was pretty much the best week in its history, all in one day. Best week's volume in the history of the stock, all happening in one day. As a matter of fact, I think like 3xing it over that. So we got that sell-off, and now we're getting that interest coming back in. So get us on top of that 50 EMA, and I think we are golden. As a matter of fact, if I right-click on this, I can actually set an alert to let me know when we get that cross above this moving average. So I'll get that alert set, and then we'll be good to go. Maybe it gets on the list. All right, at the bottom of the list for best penny stocks to buy now is my friend Lucid, currently at 46.28. When we look at the RSI, so just below bullish, we have to cross up over 50. We also want to see for this the 50 cross up over the 5-period EMA cross up over the 13. That's the first bullish sign that we're looking for. And why it's on here, even though we have a weak momentum and we also have some weakness for Lucid, for LCID is the ticker symbol. You can see it here on the back of the chart. This triple bottom is actually a wildly bullish sign. It was actually to the benefit of the bullish case that we actually pulled back so far on July the 1st. So we'll see if we can climb up there and if we can continue to stay above the 5 and the 13. If we can get the 5 to cross the 13, that's going to be a very bullish thing as well. And we also had that big move on big volume. We need to stay up above the 13. We need to get the 5 to cross over it. And the longer we stay up here, as a matter of fact, this is the 5th candle back. So these low closing prices are going to fall off. If we open near here on Monday when the market opens, that's going to be incredible. So for Lucid, this one can easily rise up from where it's at right now and put in another 20%. And if it breaks this trend line that we have up here, as it has in the past, there you can see the trend line. The last 2 times we tested it, man, we popped up out of this thing. So we had a wild run from the bottom of this, and it took us all the way up to 366 from a bottom that was down below $2. And then after that, when we came down and touched this line we had, which again was about $2 mark, ran back up to $3. So a 50% climb. And here we find ourselves down here again at $2. Will we get a big climb from here? Will we get that 20% climb? Is it going to go higher? That 200 EMA at 266? actually looks pretty ripe. That's still 50 cents up from where we're at right now, which still falls 25-ish% up from where it's at right now. So LCID absolutely at the bottom of the list for the best penny stocks to buy now, and it can quickly advance itself up this list. The next one is my friend Nano Dimension, NNDM. Check out that double bottom that we have on this thing. Not only do we have a double bottom, but we also have a little bit of volume confirmation coming on this as we climb back up over the 5 and 13. We got them to cross on the 27th of June. We actually found the 50 EMA as support, unlike Beam. Did not find it as support. Yeah, we peekabooed down through it, but we kept the 13. Getting the 5 over the 50 is huge for bullishness. Getting the 13 over the 50 is even better. This thing can climb quickly on us, and if it does, we have the 200 EMA all the way up at $1.94 with massive historic resistance up here from previous pivots at about 204 to 206. So putting it about 40-ish cents up from where it's at right now. So that could be somewhere around 20-ish, 20 to 25% once again climb from Nano Dimension, especially if we can get over this resistance from $1.68 to $1.71. We sit on top of those and we are golden for that next part of the climb. The momentum is absolutely beautiful, sitting at 58. So beautiful and bullish, just like me. On the weekly, climbing, but still bearish. And then on the monthly, yep, still bearish. Not yet showing signs of a climb for this one. But this could absolutely continue to whip forward and whip higher for us. As a matter of fact, if we use a Fibonacci extension on something like this and track the move that it made, and my lack of coordination got me down again. Let's move that up there. $1.89 is actually that price to make this same amount of movement here from this most recent bottom right at $1.54 up to $1.89. That'd be copying that and pasting that movement over from there. So you can put that down as a price target, if you will, for Nano Dimension. Ocugen is in the third to bottom, if you will. And this one, and we actually caught the climb. So for this one, going all the way back to May 20th, man, we were down there quite a bit. There's May 20th breaking up above those previous pivots, came up, retested, and then rocket ship. We ran that thing up, I think for 100 or 100. I think that was 100% gainer that we got on that one. Then you see all the high wicks come in, start to seeing that selling pressure come back down. We have a higher low at the moment, and we also have the 50 EMA up over the 200. That's a bullish thing. We have some near-term bearish sentiment that we're fighting. The RSI might climb back over this. This thing could climb higher for us. As a matter of fact, off these previous peaks that you see here, we could climb back up to that trend line. If these higher highs are going to continue pushing us up to about $1, it looks like about $1.35, $1.38, somewhere around in there, especially if we can get over some of these previous pivots that we had in here. Getting back up over $1 is going to be the big test, and that's this line that you see coming across your screen for Ocugen. So Ocugen has been a mover for me in the past. As a matter of fact, I caught this rip back here. Ran that all the way up to over $2 per share. Played around in the range trade for a while, and then this thing sold off, and now it happens to be getting exciting again. So Recor, R-E-K-R. There we go, Recor Systems. This one is doing some wild things right now. As a matter of fact, there you can see a little bit of a double bottom on this with an engulfing candle that took place on Tuesday, sitting on top of the 13, the 5 and 13 are both over the 50. The 200 EMA is up there for us. Ran up a little bit quick, a little aggressive. This was actually on the list of best penny stocks to buy now before I took it away because we got a 150% gain on the options play for Recor. I pulled that back down because, well, we were selling off. I didn't know where the bottom was. It looks like we're putting that bottom in right now. And so we could absolutely see that next rip, and it could be higher considering we're going from a higher platform here. Maybe that's when we start to go back up to $1.85 to $1.89. We're going to have to see what's in the cards. And there's any amount of selling pressure that comes in as soon as we get to the north of $1.89. But there still is that chance that we get up over $2 per share for this one. Now, mind you, even if we only hit $1.85 for this, that's still a significant climb from where it's at right now. Even if it only makes it up to the 140 level that's here from previously, this pivot that we had back here, that's still from the close that we had on Friday, 17 cents, which is still over 10%, between 10 and 15% of a climb just up to that resistance. But I think that this time, with that support there, especially if we can get more of a volume push, you can start to see the volumes come in as we started bottoming here. That could be that buying pressure that we're looking for that catalyzes us and allows us to push back up through to those numbers that are just short of $2. So $1.85 to $1.89, especially if the market bias can continue. We got the big, beautiful bill approved. That should be stimulating not only to the economy, but it should also help out the markets in the meantime as well. Remember, if you watch my previous videos where I talked about the 4 pillars that prop up markets that allow them to keep on rising, easy monetary policy is part of it. Now, mind you, the Fed's not helping us out with that yet. Subdued inflation, we currently still have that one, although we're keeping a hairy eyeball out for that. And then strong labor market. Well, we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment, and they were gorgeous. And then also the other thing that we have is high GDP, and well, that big beautiful bill could help us out in the near term with that GDP. Markets can continue to rally, and with that market bias at the back of the penny stocks here, they could keep on pushing higher in outsized ways. And that's why I wanted to bring to you the best penny stocks to buy now. If you guys want to see those opportunities, other opportunities, along with my buys and sells, what the other panel experts have to offer as well with their buys and sells, their news, their technicals, their information, along with a community of thousands of members. I said at the beginning of the video, there's a link down in the description for the Discord. Sign up using the code word DOCTOR. When you do, make sure that you choose the earner tier so you get unrestricted access to everything that the Discord has to offer to its community members. And I'll tell you what, we are absolutely loving life over there. Between the lessons that are over there, the live trades, the Ask the Expert, the stock channels that are over there, options channels, cryptos channels, you name it. It is a vibrant, lively community full of positive people all supporting each other towards financial freedom and also building alpha in our portfolio. So guys, come on over, check it out. Links in the description. And if you guys want to know more about these technicals, about how to trade options, about the bread recipe trading strategy, there's some coursework through Stockmo Academy. I highly recommend bundling the 2 courses together and using the code word DOCTOR. That can get you the maximum savings on those courses, and they are a match made in heaven, just like the bundle discount and the code word DOCTOR discount are a match made in heaven. And you could also use the code word DOCTOR, by the way, on the individual courses. And they are complete in their way, but one really does help supplement and augment the other. It really is a nice interplay between the 2 courses. So guys, it is lifetime access for those courses. When you do sign up, there's even a learning community, a separate Discord that goes along with those as well. And I'll tell you what, I cannot endorse them enough. Let's move back over into the penny stocks, everyone. So here we go. We're jumping into Pacific Biosciences. Look at this thing. PacBio's been on a tear. This one I have talked about being on my best penny stocks to buy now. Once again, going back is either late May or early June. I'd have to check the date, but this thing's absolutely put in that climb. And we're also getting elevated volumes on top of it. We need to make it over that 200 EMA at $1.70. This thing, the price target is up at $2.16. So another 56 cents up from where it currently resides. So that's over a 30% climb to get up there. And with some options, we can really amplify that percentage should we move to the upside over the right time frame. Now, options are a little bit trickier. That's why I recommend the options course. And I use options all the time. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, it really does help to dig in, learn about them, read about them, and understand the risks that can go along with them. Because with the rewards that I talk about, there's also the risk side of things as well. You don't get the outside rewards without also taking on the outside risk that can come along with it. So let's move on to the top 2. QSI, there we go. A quantum stock, quantum penny stock. This one is probably not done with its movement yet. This has also been on my list of best penny stocks to buy now. Finding massive support back on June the 23rd on the 50 EMA, followed by just a mega green candle on the 24th. And you guys can see the movement that it's made since then. It still occupies the number 2 spot. I believe that this one can keep on climbing on us from where we're at right now. So if we track that movement, once again, Fibonacci extension, $2.46. This can put in another 32 cents from the previous close that we had on Friday. So that could be a nice move for us, 10 to 15% up from where it's at right now. And we have the volume support. We have the momentum supporting it as well. The weekly also bullish. And when we go out to the monthly, we happen to also be in bullish territory for that RSI. Now at the top of the list is BBAI. And this one, once again, since May 20th, this thing's made over 100% climb since I started covering it. So if we go to May the 21st, where are you at, May 21st? We'll just go to the closing price on May the 21st, and we'll go to the closing price that we had here, 108.33%. With that, for BBAI, that's a huge, huge climb. And the options that I purchased, the shares that I purchased on this, doing absolutely astounding, and just lots and lots of cash flowing in from BBAI. One of my favorites that I shared with the community. We are currently fairly in overbought territory up near 80 as per the RSI. The weekly is at 70, and then the monthly is at 67.51. So we are getting late in the stage of this climb, but I still don't think the climb is done. I think we might settle a little bit, but I think that once we do settle, we find out where the floor is. Maybe it's where this area of support happens to be right here. That starts all the way down to about 6.25 or 6.75, I should say, $6.75 up to $7.36. So what we'll watch and see, will we get support in there or do we continue to blast off? This thing I think has a $10 price tag on it, potentially as much as $15. We have never seen this much volume for this stock, just so that you're aware of that. Look at that build over time, that interest in Big Bear AI as the next Palantir play. That narrative is playing out just absolutely beautifully. And like I said, with that sort of volume and that sort of build, we might have some rough days, but I still think that we have some outperformance, and it's why it takes the #1 spot. So guys, out of my best penny stocks to buy now, Big Bear AI happens to be at the #1 spot for this, and I still think that it's a huge climb that it could take from here. It's one of my highest conviction plays. Even though we're certainly overbought right now, we could have a little bit of cooling, and I think that could set up the next opportunity, assuming the market bias is still at our side. NVIDIA doing well really helps because that is the AI infrastructure play, but AI software plays don't necessarily need NVIDIA to also be doing well, but it definitely does help because that can kind of be a little bit of a barometer for the health of what the market thinks about the current, or shows us about for the sentiment around AI stocks that we have. And Big Bear AI is one of them that if it's able to really fill in its revenues through the backlog that it has right now, as those payments start to come in, those earnings are going to start to pump. And as this thing starts to go positive on this, it goes from penny stock into actual legitimate and bona fide stock, potentially being that next 20x play that everybody's hoping for if that adoption is there. If that story starts to prove itself like we saw happening for Palantir, this could be the early stages of it. Right now, it's anybody's call, anybody's guess on what we're going to get over time for Big Bear AI. The few shares that I have, I would like to keep a hold of just to speculate and see what happens. And I can keep on doing things with options to keep on making that cheaper for holding those over time. So sort of return to myself until Big Bear AI is able to also to return to me as an investor. So guys, let me know what you think of the best penny stocks to buy now. If you want to talk to me directly in the community, because I don't do direct messages or friend requests, because that's a nice way for people to get scammed. So if anybody does reach out to you that way, it's not me. But over in the community, if you're part of that community, I interact with the community members all throughout the trading week. You guys can come on over and be part of that community. Talk with me, the other community members, the other panel experts, Stock Mo, Mrs. Mo. We're all over there hanging out, talking about everything money that you can imagine, and probably even a little bit more. Code word doctor when you sign up, use the earner tier, try it out, see what you think for that first month. And most people find out that they love what they find and they end up staying. And then that coursework, guys, if you don't know options, you don't know technicals as well as you'd like, those two courses are put together just perfectly. Go ahead and try those out. Use code word doctor with the bundle for maximum savings. Thank you guys for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.